Hello there, I am Tolvo. I'm going to be doing a little guide here and sort of PSA on how difficulty and hard modes work in Sekiro. For reference, much of the community seemingly has been wrong up to this point. I'm showing right here how I just set up my file so you can see how I'm testing this in some regards. I can basically do boss rush or go to any point in the game really quickly on most difficulties. There are a few I'm missing, but I'll be getting them at some point. Anyway, there are some difficulties in Sekiro. There is New Game, which is the base game. Every time you go through a cycle after that is the New Game Plus version. So then after that, you'll get New Game Plus, which is New Game Plus 1, but usually you just say New Game Plus, New Game Plus 2, and then all the way up to New Game Plus 7. Past that, it doesn't seem to increase in difficulty, but I'm going to be testing to see if there's anything further past, just in case. I'll be doing that at a later date. There are two hard modes in Sekiro. There is Charmless and there is Demon Bell. Charmless can only be done after beating the game once. I'm going to be showing how to get Charmless right here. You need to go through the prologue of Sekiro, as I'm showing here, very, very sped up. When you get to Kuro, you can give him back his charm. You'll get it in New Game Plus. Once you give Kuro his charm, you'll be in Charmless difficulty mode, the hard mode. You can do this if you create a new file even, as long as you've beaten the game on your profile. Charmless makes it so you take chip damage whenever you block instead of perfect deflect. There is one mini boss in the game that can posture break you if you deflect them that I've found. Otherwise, if you deflect, you will not be posture broken still. That's a constant throughout Sekiro. There is an additional thing though. Charmless appears to increase the stats of the bosses. Or, in general, the enemies. I haven't gotten to test every enemy. I've been focusing on this one to just get comparisons. I'm going to be showing here some very select hits. You should be focusing on the first hit of the combo that the enemy is doing against my guard. That first hit is the big thing to pay attention to. There's lots of variations. It would take a long time to do the testing with every variation. But the first hit is the same. There's two versions of that. There is a long windup and a quick one. I'm going to be focusing on the quick one. The long windup one does actually do a different damage value. I've looked at the health bars and compared them. There is a very slight difference. While going through this, I want to mention too, I show unguarded hits. So you can count how many hits it takes to kill me as I switch over the hard modes and go through the different difficulties. You'll end up seeing that Demon Bell causes me to take some pretty decent, a higher amount of damage when I'm on New Game. On New Game Plus 6, however, it seems to do next to nothing, and then same on New Game Plus 7. Seemingly, Demon Bell is a flat buff to enemy stats. That is at least what I have found in testing and my experience just playing the game this long. Charmless, however, seems to do that buff on a percentage value. The increase seems to be pretty big, even at New Game Plus 7. So you'll end up just getting to see, you can pause at points. I might make basically side-by-side pictures to show the damage values, because that might be easier for people to just look at, and you can just see side-by-side. I also show some kills, so you can see the skill gain. I try to avoid any sort of spoilers in this. I might also put this at the start of my no hit, no damage playlist, just so people can tell what is going on in that playlist, why it is so difficult. Charmless also has some other effects, so does Demon Bell, in regarding positive boons, like getting more items and sen, or getting more skill point gain. Skill point gain is Charmless, and then Demon Bell gives you better drops from enemies. But as far as I have seen in testing, Charmless is a percentage buff, at least on enemy damage, as well as the chip damage on you. Demon Bell is a flat buff to enemy stats. This would mean Charmless has an effect throughout the whole game, whereas Demon Bell is really only going to have an effect in the early to mid New Game and New Game Plus difficulties. This does make me wonder if maybe Charmless will do more at even higher New Game Plus thresholds. So as I mentioned, I will be testing that. I'll also be showing towards the end a fight where I focus mostly on just using blocks, even on New Game Plus 7, and show how you can still win fights by only blocking if you're not Charmless. I then, however, will be showing a Charmless no hit, no damage New Game Plus 7 fight at the end, which is sword only. I, at times, will show my attack power, and I do wonder if attack power of your own could influence these things. I'll have to do more testing on that, just in case. It wouldn't make sense that it would, but you never know. I wanted to do this sort of little guide in PSA because there's a lot of misinformation. There are people who have seemingly posted data and tests, but I'm not entirely sure. Everything I've experienced up to this point has said otherwise to what people commonly post and share. I'm going to be going through and showing it with Charmless, then I'll activate the Demon Bell. Then I'll do it Charmless Demon Bell. Then I will deactivate Charmless. Then I will do it just Demon Bell. Then I will deactivate Demon Bell and do it just plainly. That's how I've been doing it for each difficulty level while testing these. I did a focus on just New Game Plus 6, and New Game Plus 7, because I didn't want to make this too long, but I might make a more extensive breakdown later. Now, the main thing about New Game is you will take typically 3 hits to kill, or to be killed right here. So for New Game, when you don't have any of the hard modes active, you'll typically take 3 hits to kill unguarded from this combo. When you activate Charmless, it will typically kill you in 2 hits. With Demon Bell active, it'll kill you in 3 hits, but you'll just barely survive the second hit. You'll have a tiny sliver left. And like I mentioned, focus on the first hit if you can. I will show the difference in damage between the long windup and the quick hit. So just showing here, Demon Bell is not really seeming to make a difference here if it's even perceivable. Seemingly it would, because it should be like a flat buff. There's been a misconception that Demon Bell bumps the game difficulty up to the next New Game Plus cycle, but we'll see there is very little difference going on here with Demon Bell, but New Game Plus 7 still increased the damage from here. So New Game Plus 6 Demon Bell is obviously not the same as New Game Plus 7 base. I do wish this was all a bit more clear. I just wish there was more transparency in how a lot of these systems worked. I wish there was easier ways to get the damage values and data. There is an image related to the Sekiro guide. I believe it's the official guide, and it goes over things like how the time of day affects the damage an enemy deals, how the time of day will affect their health, the damage they take while they're in hyper armor. I know it also might seem a little bit silly to show what it's like guarding when I don't have the Charmless effect active, but I wanted to show just in case, kind of like as a control. You can also see the posture value just in case there's any difference there. I did my best to not make any overly obtrusive text over the guide and video here. I want it to be pretty clear, and I want it to be pretty concise. Now, on top of this, I want to point out, you'll see there's nothing there in the bottom left corner currently. But when the Demon Bell is active, you will see a sort of Demon Bell eye down there. When there is Charmless, you'll see a different red symbol for Charmless. So you can see in the UI when they're active. I have the little signifier at the top to help, and I show what New Game and New Game Plus cycle I'm on. But you can also see in the bottom left those symbols that'll help you understand. This was a little bit tricky to record. I had to try my best to get into the right position every time so that he would do the right combo I wanted. I'm going to show a few different versions of it. Also, just a fun fact, every time he posture breaks you, he is going to go for a grab. He actually has every main type of attack in the game other than magical ones, because he has a thrust as well he'll rarely do. I also wanted to make this be focused on doing a very early game boss, so there'd be no spoilers. People starting to watch or who want to learn can watch this video without any warning about spoilers. The only things you will see in this is this boss, the prologue, and the activation of the demon bell. That has to do with going into an area, but I don't actually show going there. I just show being there, activating the demon bell, and then going right back. And again, note, the first hit is what to watch. That is what we should be looking at. The follow-up combo, there's various different forms, so try not to focus too much on the second or third hit against the guard. When unguarded, you can look at the entire combo, because it will be the same every single time. After the first hit, he'll do the follow-up upward swing and then a follow-up downward swing if you're not killed with the second hit. For guarded, he will hit you and then he can do various flurries. He can instantly jump up. He can do side swings. He can do a push. He can do a sweep. He can do a lot of things. That's why the first hit is the main thing to focus on again when he's guarded. And when unguarded, it's the full combo you want to be watching, because you can actually see the difference in the damage and how many hits it takes for me to be killed. In general, with Charmless, you will die in 2 hits from this swing, depending on how much health you have and the difficulty level you're on. On New Game, the Demon Bell will make it so you nearly die in 2 hits, and the third finishes you off. On the higher difficulties, the Demon Bell did not impact how many swings it took to kill me. It didn't seem to impact the bar at all. It technically should, it would just be so small it's imperceptible because of how high the damage and health values are becoming at these higher levels. So, as you can see here, this is nothing active, 3 hits to die. Now, this is the example fight where I will be just focusing on guarding. This is going to be an intentionally sloppy fight. I guess this is technically not no effort. It actually took a lot of effort to not constantly deflect him. I actually do deflect him a few times just on reflex alone. It's kind of hard for me to play this poorly intentionally, but I just wanted to show what you can actually do while blocking without Demon Bell or Charmless active, and how easy fights can still be even on New Game Plus 7. The base game is even like this in regards. Later bosses, though, will have attacks that can posture break you on nearly every hit or deal chip damage, so you still can't do this quite as easily for later bosses and fights. These early ones, though, you can easily do it. You can just face roll these fights. You don't have to pay attention or focus at all. After this, I will be showing a very, very quick no hit, no damage Charmless, New Game Plus 7, General Kawarada. But I hope this guide has helped to clear some things up about difficulty and hard modes in Sekiro and how they work. Now, to reiterate, while I do these and I do very high level challenges, it's okay if you can't do them. That's perfectly fine. It's still a hard game. These are just things I like to do. I like to do all of these challenge runs in all the FromSoft games. I've always been a fan of doing this, as well as all the lore. So we are about to kill General Kawarada by blocking. And with him, every time he posture breaks you, he'll go for the grab so you can just roll away while you're on the ground. It's completely safe. You can just base roll, turn your brain off, and kill this enemy right here. But he is basically the first mini-boss after the prologue, so it figures. This is the no hit, no damage fight. This is going to be very quick. He does not have that much health even on this difficulty, and the deflects are going to posture break him really quickly, on top of all of the jumping off of his head. So again, I hope this has brought some clarity. I hope the audio is coming through all right. Let me know if there are any issues, if you have more things you'd like me to test and look into. I am Tolvo. You can see other things I've done, the No Hit No Damage New Game Plus 7 Charmless Demon Bell, entire series, all bosses, all mini bosses, the speedruns I've been doing. I like to do lots of tests in Sekiro and collect the data and frame data whenever possible. So there's lots of things I know, lots of things I like to test. I hope this has helped, and good luck with Sekiro, and enjoy the game. Bye-bye!